Welcome to the show that puts the ease into easel, the can into canvas, and the like into likeness.
All very positive, but you could also say we put the pain into painting.
Yes, it's Portrait Artist of the Year.
All today's artists have come ready to do their best to produce a compelling portrait.
My hand, the middle finger is cramping. It's hard to hold the brush.
But if they can push through the pain, they'll be one step closer to this year's prize. A £10,000 commission to paint celebrated violinist Nicola Benedetti for the Scottish National Portrait Gallery.
Of the 9 artists competing today, 3 are professional. Jane French, Kristos Saris, and Karen McEn.
I like to feel that the figure is emerging from a kind of
chaos.
Chaos, exactly.
And 6 are amateur. Amber Lewis, Humilo Canini, Terry Coyle, Robbie Jeffk, Jacob Walden, and Helen Kelly.
I normally have 3 small children running around.
Well, you've got 3 small judges running around and annoying you, so it's
that's
going to
what
be
the
fine.
headphones are for, is to pretend I can't hear you.
Thank you.
Before the challenge begins, the artists settle in, while the judges spend time with their self-portrait submissions.
Judges, today's wall, let's take it one by one then. Goodness me, what a powerful picture that is.
It has got a retro feel. I think it's got something to do with the tones in the face and also the expression. I think amongst all the style, there is also a very beautiful portrait coming through.
What I really like about this portrait is the way the second half of the face is undone, and it sort of gives him a wonderful 3-dimensionality.
It's very well observed. You really get a sense of the man, and the skill set is just extraordinary.
Its power is in how arresting it is. The level of engagement, because of that direct gaze with the viewer, is really strong.
There's a lot of layering there, and there's a real sensitivity to the eyes.
This is just showing off, I think. You've got this beautiful hand supporting the head, but it's only in outline, and very clever device of light coming through the blinds, so it's a fantastic drawing.
This is a sensational self-portrait. It's so clever to have all of these bright colours. There's all of these amazing viewpoints. It's just someone who is so in control of vision and of composition.
A tiny gem next.
I think there's such a lightness of touch in the way that it's created.
What I like about it, it's very organic. Even the shape of the paper and the way the edges are left free, it really does pack a punch.
I love the way in which it's painted. It's very expressionistic.
There's nothing quite accurate about the way the things are done, but the whole thing combined together is really compelling.
For me, it's all about the angles, which I quite like because it makes me spend more time with the painting.
She's really not telling us anything about herself. She's using personal details and shapes in a very complex composition.
It puts me in mind of Picasso's Gertrude Stein.
Yes, I just think it's interesting how little you need to make a powerful portrait. Very little finesse, but it's wonderful.
Well, we have a wall of great quality. You're going to have a busy day today, but a good one. With the standard tools at the ready, paints, palettes, Ernest Hemingway brush holders, all our artists need now is their sitter.
Artists, your sitter today is an actor who may have played more policemen than you can poke a baton at, but beyond crime, he can turn his hand to anything from period drama, like Vera Drake, to cult sci-fi, like Star Wars. It's Daniel Mays.
Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, Stephen.
Have a seat.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you all.
How you doing?
Very well. Lovely intro. Thank you very much.
Well, not
I'm pleased
at all.
I turned up now.
Yeah, yeah. If you could sit today in character, is there a particular one that stands out that you think, oh, I'd like to have a portrait of him on my wall?
Danny Waldron from Line of Duty was very stoic. He was very still, wasn't he? So he would actually be a perfect character for you to paint, I think.
So is that like you or unlike
slightly
you?
unhinged.
Unhinged could be quite useful for an artist to paint.
It could, yes, it could.
Right, well, I'm going to leave you in the hands of your artist.
OK.
Good luck, everybody.
Are you going to keep your jacket on for the day?
I'm going to keep it on. I thought there was a nice bit of texture for you.
It's really nice,
kind of works,
yeah.
Is that OK?
Whatever.
Can you all work with that?
I think so, yeah.
Artists, have I got news for you? For the next 4 hours, an outstanding broadcaster and writer will be casting his private eye on you. Please welcome the incomparable Ian Hislop. Welcome, welcome, Ian. A good chance to sit back and do nothing.
Yes, and having had a lot of cartoons and caricatures of me over the years, I'm really hoping for something less rude. I can tell I'm not going to get it.
Now, I'm going to leave you to the artists now because they're going to discuss with you how you should sit.
Right.
The main thing is you're comfortable, so yeah, if you could hold that position, that'd be great.
I want you to make me look younger than Joan.
Artists. Described as a BBC star of the future, your sitter today is a presenter, a social historian, and the author of the groundbreaking book, Don't Touch My Hair. It's the dazzling Emma Dabiri. Hello. Hello, Emma.
Hi.
Have a seat.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Are you used to having your portrait painted? Have you ever had it done before?
It's old hat at this stage.
Every
No, I
week?
have to say this is a first.
Right. Are you looking for anything in particular? You want a flattering portrait?
I mean, I assume we all would rather a flattering portrait.
Right.
So one
Something
hopes.
gorgeous to hang on the wall. Artists, Emma is all yours. Hello.
I tend to just sit with my legs crossed anyway. Oh gosh, and you know what? I also wanted to hide my socks, but now you can see my flamingo socks when I sit like this.
Oh, they're so cute.
Artists, it's time to focus. You have 4 hours to complete your portraits. Good luck, everybody. Your time starts now.
The start of a portrait is often a time of intense concentration for artists, as sitters are carefully observed and features are meticulously noted. But for one artist, the sitter seems to be the last thing on his mind.
Hey, Robbie.
Hiya.
You've already got a great likeness. Talk me through what's happening.
It's basically called doodle method.
Right.
So you basically cover the canvas with anything.
OK.
And then the image I've taken, I will overlap with a picture of my canvas.
Oh, I see.
And they'll act as reference points.
OK, because I see a couple of eyes up there.
Those aren't his eyes.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Robbie Jeffk is an amateur artist from Birmingham. After studying fine art at Westminster University, he trained as a tattoo artist and also works part-time as a fashion model.
So where did your love of art come from?
So this drawing here is a drawing of my dad's, who died when I was younger.
Right.
That's the first kind of art I was introduced to.
How old were you when he died?
1.
Wow.
Yeah. I always have this on my desk, try and channel his artistic energy.
His artistic energy.
Yeah.
That's a very beautiful drawing.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Well, I better let you get on. And,
No worries.
I look forward to seeing how that becomes that.
Yeah, me too.
Do
Do you want to position your hands somewhere we can see your hands, yeah? Attentive paint from life. Would like you to be still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can just relax a bit and then keep it again.
Got you.
Thank you.
Kristos Saris previously took part in Portrait Artist of the Year 2020, where he reached the semi-final, painting musical star Elaine Page. He's since been developing a new painting style and has been watering down his oils to allow him to add and remove his marks more freely.
Are you happy so far, Kristos?
So far, yes. It's a process of drawing, losing it, lose it, and go back to drawing again.
Is that also why you are quite strict with your sitters? You need the cooperation of them because you are going into chaos sometimes and coming back.
Yeah. Normally, I'm strict to them.
Normally, you're even strict to them. I'm never going to sit for you, but it's good to know.
I think you should.
While the pressure might be on the sitters to stay put, artists can at least make choices to help cope with the 4-hour time limit.
I'm slow, so let's just cut out the middleman, pick the things that I feel like I can actually excel in. So I want to just really focus on the eyes, really focus on the nose and the ears. Those are the things that actually make a person to me.
21-year-old Humalo Kanini is studying architectural technology in Edinburgh. His pencil self-portrait, entitled Mum, I'm Bored, took 30 hours to complete.
One of the charming things about your self-portrait, of course, was the way in which you got the shadows casting only on the face and not on the T-shirt. Is that something you use a lot?
Yeah, I like using kind of like different types of textures to just create depth. Obviously, it worked in my favor to get here, so I'm going to try and just recreate the same idea.
When you work in black and white, have you ever been tempted to pick up the coloured pencil?
I have done it for someone who had pink hair, and it really popped.
Okay.
I might give Daniel pink hair. He might look good with pink hair.
Hi, Amber. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You're so in your own little zone there. I can feel this furious energy in about a kind of 1 foot square area. Is there any part of it that you're more worried about than others?
Maybe including the clothing here. I feel like I've practiced a lot on facial portraiture, and then clothing is just a whole different story. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, that's interesting.
Birmingham-based student Amber Lewis hopes to study fine art at university. Her compact 13 by 14 centimetres self-portrait was inspired by contemporary artist Jenny Saville and painted in gouache.
What about your submission? Did you work from life?
No, I worked from a photograph and I went in on the detail.
Yeah, what about today? Was there going to be like an equivalent way of doing it because of the time?
I've been working on not including every little bit of detail, but making suggestions of detail.
And are you pleased with Emma as a sitter?
100%, yeah.
She looks like she lives here. She just looks so serene. You look so great. Well, I'll let you go back into your zone.
Thank you.
The artists have nearly reached the 1-hour mark.
So I'm moving on to the nose now, which is fun. I remember someone told me that the nose makes the likeness for some reason. So if I get the nose right, then it will look like Daniel. I hope. I don't know.
Got all the doodles down, so now it's basically just kind of mapping features, mapping outlines. And yeah, once that's done, I'm just going to work into it with colour. So yeah, it's going good.
Feeling positive. Emma has stunning hair. I don't know if I will be able to make it as beautiful as in real life, but I will try my best.
Here at Battersea Arts Centre, 9 artists have been busy painting the faces of sitters Daniel Mays, Emma Dabiri and Ian Hislop.
Jane, I wonder whether you've seen Ian on television, have you?
Definitely, yes.
That's exactly how we're used to seeing him, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the expression he's got at the moment, which is he's looking sort of slightly dreamily into the distance.
I did give her a tip and say I've got very, very well-defined cheekbones and quite a thin face, so I think if you capture that, that'll help.
Former graphic designer Jane French is now a professional artist and art tutor. She added interest to the composition of her self-portrait with an uneven angle and lots of personal items. But with no props to play with today, she needs to create visual interest in other ways. You've not got any source material here, have you?
No.
So you're simply focusing on the head?
I'm going to divide the background so there's two colours, both probably shades of yellow, but I might try and introduce some sort of shadow shapes as well on the yellow, just to bring a bit of interest to the composition.
She's got that tilt of your head completely right. No, not that one.
Hands are really important in a portrait because I just feel they're so much a part of a person and the way they hold them. Daniel's hands look very capable, but gentle and sensitive. Yes, I hope to get that.
London-based artist Karen McEn studied sculpture and now specialises in figurative paintings. Her colourful submission was inspired by her love of cubism and religious iconography.
Karen, I love the energy of this portrait. To me, you seem like an artist who maybe thinks in colour.
Yes, I do think in colour, but it is inspired by the sitter, so it's like a sort of relationship, really, between what I see and what I want to say.
And these fantastic architectural lines.
I think it's because we're all sort of inseparable, in a sense, from our environment. So I like to kind of feel that the figure is emerging from a kind of...
chaos.
Chaos, exactly.
Spending time refining a sitter's features is one way to make a successful portrait. But one artist is trying to increase their odds another way.
I hope to do 2 paints and pick the best. The reason why I do 2 paints is not because the first one didn't work. It's because I know I don't want to spend 4 hours in one painting. But let's see how the first one goes.
Terry Coyle is an amateur artist and part-time maintenance worker from Derry. His paintings take inspiration from Expressionism and are created using his own homemade brushes.
Your paintings have a very distinct atmosphere. What are you looking for?
For me, it's not important to have a photographic likeness.
Okay.
I'm trying to make the portrait work as a painting rather than just a portrait, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
I've done a couple of sketches in pen to get the scale of Emma.
Yes.
And now I'm going to do another painting.
Are you a fast worker, or...?
Yeah, the self-portrait I did it, you know, under an hour.
Under an hour?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
That doesn't mean it's going to be any good, mind you.
The studio sets in this year's series are inspired by the colours found in nature.
Heavy on the yellow and greens today. What's going on?
Today's all about the desert, so you might be feeling a bit parched. Ian's on this set with these very gorgeous orange and yellows. We're thinking about the sun rising over the desert. And then Danny's in a set which is all about sand dunes, so brighter, lighter tones. And of course, you couldn't have the desert without cacti. So here in Emma's set, we've got all these gorgeous green tones.
Ian is not a man I would associate with a desert sunrise, but it's sort of working.
But don't forget, Ian's got that really big personality, and I think it sits quite nicely against the yellow. And bless him, he wore like his kind of jazzy tie to try and spice things up.
And Danny, of course, a very versatile actor. You can put him anywhere, and we've got him in the desert sand.
He's probably the more fidgety sitter. He's obviously a natural performer, so I think he's going to find it difficult to be so still for the whole day.
Emma's got her headphones in and her eyes closed. I don't know if she's meditating, listening to music, or if she's asleep.
She seems to be someone who's just very comfortable in their own skin. I mean, she's got cheekbones for days. I think she's a gift to these artists. I think this is a really interesting section.
Well, I definitely have almost nodded off a few times. I'm also listening to a podcast that's quite soothing. And also just trying to be alert but not move is actually kind of tiring.
I feel like a real kindred spirits with my artists. I describe them as my artists, so I feel like I have this strange ownership over them, and I'm so proud of them. Yeah, it's an amazing experience.
It's quiet. I was surprised. Someone said that the artists are likely to capture the real you, and I thought, I certainly don't want the real me on canvas.
Jacob, that is Ian Hislop already.
Thank you. I'm glad you think so. Just getting the whole canvas covered.
Okay.
I still need to figure out what I want to do with the background.
Right. We don't normally worry about people's age, but you seem young. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16?
Yeah.
What? That is very... Yes.
I'm going.
Jacob Walden lives in Warwick and is studying for his A-levels. But he's already taking commissions and has been painting the portraits of his nan's friends' dogs for a small price.
His eyes are fantastic already. And
Thank you. I do quite like painting eyes because of all the reflections and things.
And how are you feeling about revealing your portrait later to Ian?
I'm very nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, are you thinking, I need to paint him in a way he'll like?
Well, I've turned up the ends of the lips just a little bit so he looks a bit happier.
OK, all right, so you've made him happier already.
Yeah.
Helen, I look at Daniel and think, that is a head I want to paint.
I know. There's a sort of sternness, but yet a gentleness, I'd say, there.
His likeness is also in the way he holds himself.
Absolutely.
Sorry, we're talking about you like a lump
Yeah.
of meat.
You're talking about me, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. Get used to it.
Helen Kelly studied fine art and printmaking and is now a horticulturalist living in Starbridge. An instinctive painter, her loose style is created using watered-down acrylics, adjusting the features as she goes.
Daniel's appearing in this ghost-like form. Talk me through what's going through your mind.
This stage is trying to get the drawing down, so it's not very committal with the paint, but should have enough time to move the paint back into some sort of likeness or not. Well, I normally have 3 small children running around ties, so it's grasped.
Well, you've got 3 small judges running around and annoying you. So
that's what the headphones are for, is to pretend I can't hear you.
Thank you.
Our artists have been hard at work for almost 2 hours.
Robbie, knowing Ian, how much of that is influencing how you're portraying him?
I don't know how it's going to turn out, but see maybe a different side of him. I think it's going to be quite a solemn look.
Solemn or sullen?
What's the difference? Sorry.
I'm happier with this one. It's going better. My main focus is to bring out an emotion. I know it's important to get a likeness, but if I can get a resemblance, I'd be happy enough.
It's going all right. Well, the eyes were too close. So now I redraw the whole thing and then go back to work the rest of the portrait. I don't know if I have enough time, though.
Our artists have reached the halfway point in today's competition, painting sitters Ian Hislop, Emma Dabiri and Daniel Mays.
My biggest concern at the moment is the hair tone because, unfortunately, he's graying, poor thing, so...
I'm sorry? That's it. Cut. Cut.
Luckily for Daniel, our judges' focus has been on the artists and their progress so far.
Judges, we had a very good start. Are they keeping the standard high?
Unfortunately, they are. It's going to make later on super difficult.
Emma is being painted by Terence, by Kristos and by Amber.
Kristos got Emma's head very quickly. The likeness was there, and it's very attractive.
There's one thing I really don't like about it, and I don't know whether or not he's going to resolve it later, is this huge purpley drip next to the head, which I really feel is distracting.
Ty, give us an artist's view of the drip.
Can you imagine if you have a really amazing splash and then you can tease that into a very believable head of hair?
Do you do that?
I will now.
So we've got Daniel being painted by Karen, Humilo and Helen. What do we make of Helen's?
She has this wonderful loose style. I think she's got a great pose in Daniel, and you know, she's got a good relationship going with him too.
I think with that kind of painting style, you can lose the likeness so easily. But I like the expressionistic quality of it, but we do need there to be a good portrait.
I was a bit worried about Karen's earlier today because I couldn't see the likeness at all. But she's starting to find Daniel in the portrait, and it's a really lovely composition.
What I find remarkable in Ian's section is how each of them have got a completely different likeness of Ian. Robbie's got this huge grumpy Ian, Jane's got a friendly Ian, and Jacob has got a very establishment Ian.
Yeah, I think Jane's done something which is very sensitive. I think it's a painting which is going a bit slower than maybe it needs to. I think that it really feels like Ian.
It has to be said, Jacob is only 16. He's up against really heavy professionals.
Yes, he's so at ease in that company, and I don't even think of him as a 16-year-old. And maybe I should, because it is quite remarkable what he's doing.
But when it comes to judging, age is irrelevant. You'll be pleased to hear, Joan.
Delighted.
They're all a bit inscrutable, really. Robbie seems to be slapping it on. Jacob is smiling a lot, which may or may not be a good sign. One of the judges went past Jane and said that the flesh tones were very heavy. So I'm imagining I'm going to come out looking very orange.
It is rather unnerving, but, you know, they have to paint what they see, so a rather large nose and going grey. I have to embrace my mid-40s, right? So it is what it is.
It's really interesting. I'm feeling quite curious about the reveal. There's that element of surprise. I hope it will be a pleasant surprise.
All artists want their portrait to stand out. But for some, that means walking a fine line between order and chaos.
Robbie, you're mixing different mediums, pens, paint, brushes. It's very much about the energy in your painting.
Yeah, I also want to try to capture a likeness of Ian as well.
So is that the struggle a bit?
Yeah, it's good to have these expressive strokes. It really works with it, but then that can take the likeness away. So it's trying to kind of balance the two.
It is always about that line of chaos and control. And in your case...
Chaos, mainly.
Kristos, I was watching you and I was thinking, what are you doing with that heavy grey mauve? And then the minute you wiped away, it sort of started to make sense.
Yeah. I've been working with very thin paint, creating the chaos and just rubbing and making it watercolory. Hopefully, it will go better than the last time I was here. I had the worst day ever. Artists do have the bad day.
Yeah, well, not just artists, but today's been good.
I think so far, yeah.
Good.
As well as using a medium to demonstrate their skills and style, artists also need to consider what a portrait tells us about the sitter. Humilo, now you put this band across the nose as though you're looking through window blinds.
Yeah, window blinds.
So that makes him more suspicious, doesn't it? Because that's the kind of character he plays.
Actually, it does kind of fit with him. Thank you.
Jane, you certainly captured his spirit.
Thank you.
So have you worked in a very traditional way from dark to light? Are you waiting for the nice little kicks right at the end?
Yeah, I teach painting, and I'm always saying to students, just hold off. Don't put the highlights in yet, because they're the treat at the end.
Yes, the icing on the cake.
Helen, it strikes me that Danny is a terrific sitter for your style.
I think that I may not do him quite justice that he deserves, but...
In what way? What?
His eyes are a little bit too big. So you're looking a little bit shifty, bit kind of...
A little bit ooh, a little bit
yeah,
wetty.
that's exactly,
Okay.
yes.
He does look like he's just been picked out of a lineup.
You're really selling this.
The artists have just 30 minutes left.
For the first time ever, my hand, the middle finger is cramping, and it's hard to hold the brush. I don't know why it is, probably a bit of nerves, but that'll be fine.
I'm not going to look at the photo as much anymore and just look at how her hair moves naturally and see if I can capture that. We'll see. I can only do my best.
I think I wish I'd got the hands a bit more, but I know I'm a slow worker, so I'm just kind of now relaxing into it and thinking, I'll just do what I can.
We're into the final stages of our artists' 4-hour challenge, painting sitters Daniel Mays, Emma Dabiri and Ian Hislop.
I haven't sort of worked on the clothing as much as maybe I plan to, and I'm not 100% sure about the likeness, but I think it's okay, yeah.
I just need to make a few small adjustments to the shadows. They're just a bit patchy at the moment, but other than that, I'm nearly finished.
Artists, you have 5 minutes left.
Ooh. I'm happy with it, I think. It's hard to tell, I've looked at it too long.
I'm a bit nervous, but I just keep on doing till the last second.
Artists, your time is up. Please put down your equipment and stand away from your portraits.
The time has come for the sitters to see their portraits and decide which one they'd like to keep.
Danny, do you have any idea what's waiting for you?
No idea. I'm quite nervous.
Right, artists, can I ask you, please, to turn your easels?
Whoa! Oh, wow. Look at those. They are absolutely fabulous. It is intense. I love the colours with it as well. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I have a proper goatee beard.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
You're very
it?
butch.
Very butch. Oh, it's wonderful. The likeness is fantastic. The precision, it really kind of draws you in, doesn't it? The eyes are wonderful. I just adore the composition. I love the texture on the shirt, the patches of colour. It's beautiful.
Right, Danny.
I can't take all three?
Unfortunately, not.
Pretty pleased with a cherry on the top?
Nope.
No, OK.
No.
I'm going to go with Karen.
Well done, Karen.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Pleasure.
Well done, guys. Well done.
Well, Ian, you're ready to confront the truth.
Yes.
Artists, turn your easels round.
That's extraordinary. They are brilliant. Wow. Do I take a closer look?
Yes, you must come and take a closer look.
Quite a sober version of me, but really thoughtful. I think it's a good likeness. It might be slightly flattering, but, you know, thank you. This is a much jollier version of me. I love the contrast of the semi-finished background and the highly detailed face. I look amused by something.
Well, you're amused by the entire world.
This is extraordinary. I had no idea what you were doing. I love the way you've just thrown the tie all over the picture. It's a technical term. But But it is a really striking picture.
Comes the moment to decide.
The one I'm going to take away with me is Jane.
Artist, can I ask you, please, to turn your easels?
Moment of truth. Wow. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to look because I'm like intrigued by all of them. The colors are so interesting. I wasn't expecting to be green, but it just has quite an ethereal and otherworldly quality.
Yeah.
It's really incredible. I love that I look so young. I mean, I really like the eyes.
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah, they feel really luminous. I really love it. So beautiful and stunning. Yeah, I love the colors. And the hair is done beautifully, because I think maybe the hair was a challenge.
It was a challenge.
I love how it looks.
Right, Emma, I'm afraid I'm going to ask you to pick one to take home with you.
I think I'm erring towards this one. Yes, yes, yeah.
Well done, Kristos.
As the artists unwind, the judges examine the finished work.
I love the mood that Kristos has managed to catch in this portrait of Emma. I just think it's soulful, melancholic. It's beautiful.
It's a bit shrunken, but I can forgive that for the expression and the way that the hair's painted.
I think Amber just ran out of time. But that expression, it connects with the viewer so directly.
And I love that eyebrow. It's a great little moment she's captured.
I think Terry's painting of Emma, there's something very ghostly. I find the green in Emma's face quite alienating.
I know that it doesn't really necessarily look like Emma, but it's a sort of weird portrait that I could live with.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Karen had issues with the background. A lot of it feels very decorative rather than structural.
I admire her for taking on so much of the figure, for bringing it to life in such a colourful way, and it's got a kind of joyful quality to it.
I'm in two minds about Humelo using the device again of the light across the face, but it's definitely him.
And one of the most beautiful ears.
It
and to
is.
get the sense of the man in such a small sliver is magical.
I love Helen's portrait. I see all of Daniel's character. We've got that arresting sense of presence that we had in her self-portrait as well.
I think it's intriguing. I find it a bit blunt.
Let's just remind ourselves, Robbie did this in one day, and I love the fact that we've got an artist who's so experimental.
But I think what I'm missing is that halfway point where you had a not so overworked portrait.
I think what Jane's done is really special because we so rarely get an artist that's able to capture an expression that feels believable.
It's full of humour. She's got a beautiful touch, and the way she puts paint on is just yummy in its very sort of, understated way. So, yes, fantastic.
Jacob's probably overworked the cheek, but I do really like the way he almost kind of sculpts with these tones.
There are some beautiful passages of paint here where that looseness and precision is perfectly balanced. There we go. That one goes there.
Before choosing a winning portrait, the judges narrow down their selection to a shortlist of 3.
Does anyone want to keep this one?
No.
OK, so let's get rid of it.
Thank you, Mrs. Soriano.
OK, do these 3 work?
I really like 2 of them.
This is going to take a bit longer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Artists, it's been a real pleasure watching each of your work today.
After scrutinising your work, the judges have chosen a short list of 3. The first artist is Helen Kelly. The second artist is Kristos Saris. The third artist to be shortlisted is Jane French.
All the 3 shortlisted artists, they were all amazing. And I told them that their stuff was good, they didn't believe me, and here they are. So.
Judges, perhaps we should acknowledge that there's a lot of talent not here.
Yeah.
And then you can tell us how you came to choose these.
Today was particularly difficult trying to go from, 5 to 3, that's for sure.
Jane gave us a very happy, sunny Ian today.
What Jane's very good at is this clarity of light. There's a crispness to it.
She is a traditional painter, but she's found something which is sort of new within this tradition. So in the submission, it's this really interesting composition, and in what she did today, it's this gorgeous smile.
And in stark contrast to Jane's light airiness, we have Kristos' brooding intensity.
Yeah. Kristos fights with it, not only with his own self-portraits, but also with the sitters that he's depicting. Overall, that sense of mood that he creates is super strong.
What I think is particularly special about Kristos is the way he can use accidents to create volume in the hair. That's pretty special.
Next, we have Helen, and I have never seen someone so dumbfounded to have their name called out in the final 3. What are you seeing in that Helen is not?
I'm stopped in my tracks with both of these pictures. I want to spend time understanding them.
But if you gave me that and told me to go and find that man in London...
But, Stephen, the purpose of a portrait is not... I could give you a photograph to go and find Daniel.
Sure.
I'm not going to give you a painting.
I'm not saying... Can I just say, Rembrandt painted a lot of self-portraits, and we'd have problems finding him in London.
There you are. There you are. You are the judges, but we have lots of opinions as well.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see who wins.
Yes.
Jane, Kristos, Helen, you each impressed the judges today, but only one can go forward to the next stage.
The artists that the judges have selected created a psychological study which captured their sitter while staying true to their style. That artist is Kristos Saris. Whoa.
Oh, I feel ecstatic. Yeah, I can relax now because I was holding my breath for about an hour, but I'm so pleased that I made it.
Thank you. Today's experience has been really, really good, and Kristos' winning portrait is amazing. I love his self-portrait as well, so I'm not surprised he won.
I'm delighted Kristos has won. We've met him before, but it's only just dawned on me what an emotional painter he is. What he's really aiming for when he lets colours pool and splash is to create a painting that's full of humanity, and I want to see more of it.
It's been quite a long day and it's been very tense, but now I need to go to the semi-final and repeat it again, because this time I have to go all the way.